I'm Sam.
And I'm Samri.
Welcome to the Chopsticks and Fork Please podcast. Happy New Year. It's technically the New Year on the East Coast. We haven't hit that yet.
It just hit 9 p.m. in the West Coast, so.
Yeah. So we just got back from the family thing.
Mm-hmm.
And we're greeting the New Year with gusto. I'm tired. I'm sleepy right now. Am I getting old? I think I'm getting old.
I think it's a food coma.
Yeah,
you ate a lot.
Yeah, I ate a lot.
You always eat a lot at your family gathering.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't eat enough at my family gathering.
Because your family... Well, there's not that much food at your family gatherings. So, I can't...
There's no food.
There's not enough.
There's carrots.
So I feel like I have to save some for other people.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Carrots for carrot juice and steel cut oats.
I have emotionally prepared myself that I'm like, I'll just eat before I go. When I go to your family things, for the most part.
Yeah. My mom doesn't believe in eating food.
Yeah, and then
She's
it's my culture. Yeah, your mom's almost a breatharian. She's almost a breatharian. You don't know what breatharianism is? Go look up Atrocity Guide's video on breatharianisms. It's really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Actually, I have a topic for the podcast. We kind of went into it head empty.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been essentially looking at scam. I've been watching CoffeeZilla's videos, and he's like a internet investigator essentially, and he investigates some of these people who are kind of sketchy online, and they have but they'll have a large following, and they make a lot of money off of their followers.
Oh, so he investigates social...
Yeah, he'll investigate them, like someone's crypto project. He'll investigate what's going on. Something he actually got a couple of influencers arrested.
Oh.
Yeah, they used used his videos as part of evidence in courts and stuff like that.
Was what's his face? There was one Manosphere got arrested recently.
Tate? Yeah, he commented on Andrew Tate. He did stuff on Andrew Tate too.
Wait, so his investigations
not Andrew Tate, not Andrew Tate specifically, but
I don't know what's going on with him.
Oh, he got. If you don't know about the Andrew Tate stuff, all I know is that I only learned about Andrew Tate yesterday. So bear with me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't pay attention to Manosphere stuff at all. So hearing this, I only saw his stuff because I was starting to watch CoffeeZilla, and CoffeeZilla has been commenting on Andrew Tate stuff.
Oh, interesting.
So Andrew Tate is a guy. He sells how to be rich, sort of things, right? But he doesn't actually teach you how to be rich. He just tells you how to do maybe make a couple $100 a month on doing day trading, doing Amazon trading.
Okay.
Online, and he makes you pay for a month, a monthly thing.
Oh.
But it's just a Discord server.
Oh,
and
that's
he doesn't
how
actually
he makes money.
He doesn't actually teach you anything. He has other people do it, but it's all
other people do it.
Other people do it, but a lot of people essentially smoke his Kool-Aid. Essentially, a lot of people signed up for 51,000 people signed up for his class a month. His I'll teach you how to be rich and get the bitches, that stuff like that.
So all I know from my side,
so recently he got arrested for human trafficking.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and he was in Romania, and he was traveling the world because they can't catch. Apparently, the authorities were having a hard time catching him. But
What?
dude, the reason why he got caught, and this is really funny,
Oh
is
God.
that well, who's the girl who does the like climate change stuff? Greta.
Oh yeah. I forgot her last name.
Google, quick. I'll do it. The speed of light.
She.
Speed
I
of light.
just know that she started as a preteen or something.
Greta Thunberg, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Greta Thunberg.
Is she an adult now?
Yeah, she's an adult now. She makes a comment of like, oh, Andrew Tate's like, she just like says, she just sparks shit. It's just like, yo, Andrew Tate is like such a fucking like crazy creeper, stuff like that. And he's so, he makes kind of like almost a weird sketchy comment. Is like someone posts like, yo, are you gonna do something about this? And he just posts, she's not ready yet, or something like that, which is really weird. It's really sketchy.
Oh, 'cause it's vibrating.
Yeah. It's really like skeezy, like saying like, oh, she's not ready yet. It's like, what do you mean by that? But he makes a response video. He makes a whole video responding to her. And on it, there's a pizza box. And the pizza box is specifically a Romania branch, or like a pizza chain in Romania. And that's how they caught him.
Oh.
Where he was located. Because he was so ego driven to respond to Greta's tweet.
Oh, it was a tweet.
Yeah, it was a tweet. He was so like angry at like Greta's tweet that he had to make like a video response. But because he put a pizza box on the video response that had the pizza chain, they located where he was.
Oh, it was a super local.
Yeah, it was like, I don't know if it was super local, but it had like, where what, the pizza box had like the address of like the pizza thing, so they could like figure out where he was.
Interesting.
Yeah, so he got arrested.
By the Interpol?
He got arrested by a Romanian police, I believe. But yeah, like he's on.
So he ran from the U.S. to do human trafficking in Romania.
Yeah, or other countries.
Oh my
while
God.
still doing like his other like like
oh
people
my
buying.
God! I didn't know he was like a criminal.
Yeah, like they were also keeping a really low profile too. Like these people who are like they have these charges. They kind of like keep a low profile and like essentially like are looking for you, but then like don't say that you're going to get arrested until they actually arrest you.
Wow. I had no idea about that. Like,
yeah,
because like from my side of the internet, I just like I didn't hear enough about like exactly why women don't like him.
Oh, he's like he says stuff like, oh, like women cheating on men is absolutely disgusting, but like men should like cheat on women like 100%. He's like a big sexist. He's a sexist asshole who's the whole thing of like, I'll teach you how to be a sexist asshole and you'll get all the bit. You'll get the. You'll make a bunch of money. You can drive this Lamborghini, but like none of his stuff actually like will get you rich. There's like people who like did a YouTube, like CoffeeZilla did a thing. It's like, I got scammed. Like he does things where he falls for scams on purpose just so to show you what a terrible deal it is.
So he pays all the money?
Yeah, he'll pay all the money. He gets like millions of views though. CoffeeZilla. He gets a lot of YouTube money, so he can afford it.
Oh, okay.
But like he'll like he like did it and it's like it's just like a Discord server. You like get like a really shoddy like thing and like you pay like $50 a month. But like it's like nothing. You could get all the information like you get from this class like for free online. And like they don't really teach you anything like that would actually get you rich or anything like that.
I mean, what? I'm still shocked about the whole human trafficking.
Yeah, it's human trafficking, and his videos have him like surrounded by like pretty women, stuff like that. Expensive cars.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. So you have no other comments.
I mean, what else is there to say?
Yeah,
I'm glad he was
yeah,
caught.
I'm glad he's caught.
I mean, hopefully he'll be in jail for like forever.
Yeah.
Because, you know, all these men who are, oh my gosh. So I'm subscribed to Valuetainment, and they were like on his side. They were like, oh, why is he being arrested? Blah, blah. So they're like, because I like respect the guy who is like the head of Valuetainment.
Yeah.
Because he like has valuable information, but the people who listen to him
Are the worst.
are like mostly men who are like incels
cringe, cringe.
men's rights guys. Because like I commented on one of his videos, and then the response I got was like a mixture of racism and sexism.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, so like
So he was like, oh, why?
they attack you for like your.
So he was like, oh, why is Andrew Tate getting like arrested?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's human
like,
trafficking.
Just posted.
Yeah, I was like, it's human trafficking, yo.
Let's see what. Like, oh my gosh! Like, let's see. They have a podcast.
Okay.
Fastest way to reveal who has your back, and it's implying that like people betrayed him or something.
No, he let the pizza box because he had his like
the bullies that bullied Andrew Tate.
It's like
isn't he like the biggest bully?
He's like the biggest bully ever.
They're going against Greta.
Yeah. It's like Greta's like 19. You think you gotta like, oh, we gotta defend Andrew Tate against this 19-year-old.
yeah. They're I guess.
By the way, Greta Thunberg is like the coolest like girl, like coolest youth girl ever. Like throw her some support because like she's fighting for like climate change and she's doing more than a lot of people out there did when they were 19.
Yeah.
Right. So I think like for her, she's like really cool. Right. For especially doing like she was able to like make a statement when she was like a teenager, like on like a global stage, which is like, dude, is like that's super impressive.
Yeah.
So yeah, these guys were like, oh, who are these people thinking that they need to defend like
an asshole,
like defend him
because
from
he's
like
a man and
like isn't it because he is like a like if he's such a big alpha male, does he actually need to be defended? You know, I mean that's like a whole another thing.
I think it's all about trying to get the because there's a lot of young men and
there's a lot of impressionable young men.
All ages of men actually, even older men.
Yeah, that's true.
Who, like, they don't have much to like.
Yeah.
Much purpose for their life.
No.
Other than going against women. Like it drives them.
Yeah, like a lot of depression's increasing in like young men, like these days, and like when you're depressed, you're easily impressionable, right? And the thing is that like Andrew Tate was actually scamming he's actually scamming these people who are like willing to essentially like take a bullet for him too, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like a very cult mentality. And he does the same thing that like, what was it? He's kind of like Alex Jones in that regard too, you know? The other really crazy, like that white Republican guy who's like outlandish. He says wild things, you know? Like, oh, they're turning the frogs gay. Stuff like that.
Okay.
You know, that sort of thing.
Did he also get arrested for human trafficking?
He didn't get arrested for human trafficking. But he does scam people by like, you're like, buy my supplements, stuff like that.
Wow. I wonder how, like...
That's what Andrew Tate was doing too. Like aside from human trafficking, he was also just scamming people. Like I really want to see if anyone out there could be like, "Oh, I got rich off of Andrew Tate's like lessons." And they probably zero.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's like shallow stuff that.
It's very shallow
Yeah.
advice. Like from what I saw from CoffeeZilla's video, it's very shallow advice.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a fun thing. That was a fun thing. And yeah, a lot like there's so many people who are like in such a low point too.
Mm-hmm.
Like crippling debt, like they're like people. There's so many people with crippling like debt, for example.
Mm-hmm.
That like, oh, this guy says, oh, I can teach you how to be rich.
Yeah.
And you're gonna be willing to do whatever, right?
That's true.
You're gonna be willing to fall for these like
Yeah.
scams, you know?
Like we were talking to your sister about all these scams and student
loan debts,
that
and like
people are in.
yeah, and I think high schools just need to start teaching kids like how to do taxes. Like it's a boring class. It's a weird thing, but there needs to be something that teaches kids financial literacy.
Okay, so the trick with that.
Yeah.
Well, okay, financial literacy and all that, it's boring. Plus, when it comes to student loan debt,
Yeah.
like, what's the option? If you don't come from a rich family who will pay for your school.
But like at least like know where that money is coming from and like know the responsibility of that money, right?
Plus, if you're telling people, okay, you know, because there's all these like
here's
arts
the thing.
degrees
There's
right?
also like, but like doing something like making a mistake in your early 20s shouldn't follow you through your 30s.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It shouldn't follow you for like 20, 30 years, right? That's unfair. That's actually unfair. Making a mistake within like 1 to 4 years and having it be a thing that you have to pay for like 30 years, that's like a jail sentence.
It's a mortgage.
Yeah, that's like a mortgage, and heck, with the mortgage, you can like declare bankruptcy. With the college loan, you can't declare bankruptcy. It follows you until you die.
Oh, I didn't know you can file bankruptcy for mortgages.
You can file bankruptcy for mortgages, but you can't file bankruptcy for student loans. You can't be like, I have actually zero money, and then like the bank will like forgive you, like you'll be forgiven. But for college student loans, you're never forgiven.
I think it's just the American capitalist system. Like it needs something to feed on.
Yeah, and like the worst part is like private loans. The private loan companies. Those are actually the evil ones because they're the ones that will actively trick you into like taking them. They're like, oh, it's free money. You know? They make it sound so easy, right?
Yeah. Plus, colleges keep getting more and more expensive.
Yeah, and then colleges are also guilty of like doing this too, right? And like now it's like the college degree is like increasingly like less and less valuable as time goes on.
I guess for some industries, at least for tech industry, you don't need a college.
You don't need a college.
Well, do you?
Not really.
I think
you can get away with
is helpful.
It's helpful, but you can get away with just having a very impressive GitHub.
You'll have to be a hard worker.
You'd have to be a hard worker. But that's true for like a lot of other stuff too, yeah.
Yeah. And okay, so the way I got out of the whole trap of student loans, I didn't get help from my parents.
Yeah.
I mean, indirectly I got students, or what is it? State grants.
State grants, yeah.
From the federal government because my mom made under the poverty level.
Yeah.
For both me and my brother, we were able to go to school for free.
Yeah.
Because of that. Yeah. I mean, we had to maintain, a good enough GPA.
Yeah.
But it's pretty easy to maintain. Like, if you're a good, studious person who's not like partying every day and getting drunk
Yeah.
and getting high.
Yeah.
Those are also traps to
And
worry
also,
about. But yeah.
another thing too is that previous generations didn't have to go through this. Of
So the parents don't know what their kids are dealing with.
like the advice that parents are giving their kids, because for the parents are like, oh yeah, well, I went to college, got a good job, and in like a thing they could have gotten back then. You could get a college degree in anything, and then get a good job at any like at a office or something like that. Or something like that. It didn't matter what you actually got your degree into.
I mean, it depends on the field, right?
No,
like
like
medicine.
you don't even need like if you're going to medicine, you need a medicine degree or something like that. But if you're going to go like like a place that just does like like office thing that like they do admin work or
Sales.
something like admin stuff, sales stuff. Those don't actually really care about what degree you have, right? And there was like a lot of jobs like in the 60s and 70s. They're like, oh yeah, you just didn't need you go in, ask for a job, and they're willing to give you one apparently. Right?
You just need connections, and not everyone has connections.
Yeah, well, like back then, like the advice for people back then that were given to them was like, oh, go into the office and like ask for a job, and you'll probably get one, even if you don't know them, even if you don't know anyone. But like,
I mean, okay, I do have a critique on that.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these sentiments are made by white people.
Yeah. That's why I'm saying it's like it doesn't apply now, right? That's what I'm saying.
No, even then
Yeah.
it didn't apply to anyone other than white
Well,
people.
yeah, but now it doesn't even apply to white people. Right? That's how ridiculous it is.
I guess.
Right? Like it doesn't like nowadays it doesn't even apply to white people. White people can't even do that anymore now. Right? And they had a different idea. Like even for privileged white people who like got a college degree, that's not the case anymore now. You get a college degree and don't necessarily get like a good job. And then there's people who are like,
even those who like, what is it? There was a scam a year or two ago, right? Remember? Where the rich families were
yeah. That was less of a scam and more like that was more of like a underground crime syndicate got to that point where like the rich and powerful were able to like get their kids into colleges through like weird scholarships and stuff like that.
Yeah. Anyways,
sorry.
What were we talking about? Student loans.
Yeah, student loans. Back then, also colleges weren't nearly as expensive either.
Yeah.
Right.
There are ways to escape it.
Yeah.
But people are not willing to go through those methods.
Yeah, but would you say that it's worth a 20-year-old or a 21-year-old should be saddled with a $100,000 debt?
No, but no one's forcing them to go to a private school. Okay, let me finish how I was able to escape student loan.
Okay.
So on top of, having a poor household, I got the free education. I also went to a community college for 2 years. And then I transferred to a public university instead of a private one.
Yeah.
That's something you can do, but
In-state.
people don't want to go to community colleges because it's quote unquote
Not as cool.
Not as cool, or it
yeah.
won't look good on your whatever resume. But for me, you don't even need to list the community college. Just list the college.
You just list degree at the end.
Degree.
Just list your degree.
And I mean,
your school is literally one line on your resume.
Yeah.
So to all you kids, do the community college route.
You can also go the route of military.
Yeah.
They'll pay for your school. Like, I mean, there is the
There is
commitment
there
of
is
time.
commitment of going to the military.
Yeah, in your life, but
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. I will. Yeah. There are those.
there are methods.
There are methods. There are methods. But like even like okay, we'll even lower it down to like $60,000. Like
Total.
total. That's that's still a commitment to like, and also with the job market out there now, unless you go into tech, right, or like a really well-paying job, you're probably gonna get out of a college degree and go into a minimum wage job.
Yeah.
That's like a lot of the case. That's like a lot of the, unfortunately, that's like a lot of the cases out there, and like the colleges even trick you into doing it too, right? The colleges are even like, oh yeah, there's so many jobs in these fields, and then
That's
you
true.
look at those fields and there's a long list, but like most of those like job positions are like advisor positions where they would only need one of those per like company.
Yeah.
Versus
That's
like
true.
versus like engineers, you need like a team of engineers or something like
Yeah. I mean, it also depends on where you live.
that. Yeah, it depends on where you live, stuff like that. Like, if you help you if you are in LA or like New York or anywhere expensive for your college, because cost of living is cost of living and stuff. But yeah,
Yeah.
that would be hard. That would be hard if if your in-state was in New York, and then your just cost of living is just huge, and then like everywhere else is gonna be even more expensive because you're out of state.
You know, the tricky part is like, so let's say we have a kid and they want to go to a really prestigious college.
They're gonna need to put
private
work.
college.
Also, the parents' responsibility to help their kid to like get through college too.
But isn't that a burden though?
Yeah, but that's you have a kid. I mean, it's mostly my cultural thing, like Asian cultural kids. That's just expected. I mean, I went through college with my parents paying through my college. So I'm going to try to help out my kid. Like, I don't know if it's feasible to fully pay for my kid's college, but I'm going to at least put money aside and do it the best I can for the kid.
So like start a fund for
Yeah,
college.
start a college fund. It's only going to be used for their college fund.
I'll try to convince them to stay in state.
Yeah.
And go to a community college, do a running start program.
Yeah, running start program. Like, yeah, just do it. Like, just
For our kid, are you willing to move with them?
no, of course not.
Are you just like going to let them like live on their own?
Yeah, because you know
What
what?
if they were sheltered?
I'm not gonna shelter them.
Or they're really introverted and they're like attached to their parents.
I'd be like, kid, I raised you better than this.
So like you'll like force them to be more outgoing
Not
and independent?
not force them, but if I am their mental crux, right? Then that is something weird that went on during the adolescent period. Right? Like, you can't, like, what is, you're asking is like, what if our kid is at point C? But I was like, what is point A and B?
Or
You're making a big, long leap.
I mean,
Because I was an
'cause
introverted.
you shared how like you had roommates in college who were like really sheltered.
Yeah, because they
Right.
were raised by, like, tiger parents. Are we going to tiger parent our kids? No. Right? Are we going to, like, shelter our kid from, like, what, like, sex is? Probably not. Are we big religious household? No, not really.
No. Yeah, but religion
Are you
is,
going to shelter our child?
I mean, I want them to be safe.
Yeah.
Like for me, I grew up in a sheltered environment
Yeah.
that was uber religious, and I didn't know about sex until
Yeah, are you going to do
high
the same? Are you going to
school.
do the same to your
Like,
kid?
how would you do that though? Like,
I would just tell them straight up, like, if they ask me when they're like, if they're, okay, from like 5 to 8, if they ask me where babies come from, I'm just gonna be like, you'll find out when you're older. And then by like 9 to 10, if they still asking me, then I'll tell them.
I think there's, yeah, I'm sure there's books and podcasts who talk about that stuff.
Yeah, like,
But yeah.
yeah, just treat them like you would a human being that deserves respect, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. I am like my parents like told like, like stuff like that. If I had a question, yeah, my parents would like answer to the best of their abilities.
When did they tell you about sex?
I don't even think they told me about sex, but I learned it in school at the very least. But then, like, I had to talk when I had, like, essentially filled the family computer with computer viruses from going to porn sites. So that was the thing. That happened.
They were like, okay,
that happened in 6th grade. Okay, that happened when I was like 11 or 12. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So like they're like, oh, he found out already on his own.
So they didn't like because I don't think porn is a good.
Yeah, they explained after I like.
Oh, okay.
I did that.
Oh.
So yeah.
Was it awkward?
Yeah, it was definitely awkward. But, that stuff is always going to be awkward. But, but I think it's just better if, like, you just tell them,
Mm-hmm.
It's better them than, like, their friends at school.
Yeah.
Right? That's what I learned it all from. I learned from friends at school. I would have rather learned it from my parents if they were upfront with me.
Mm.
Right?
Was what your friends told you... Like, was it exaggerated stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't even have friends to talk about these things with, so I really don't know how
You can just leave it to me if you're very confused of it. Just leave it to me, and I'll tell our kids about sex. But then, like, if it's a girl, if our kid's a girl, and she asks for like specific details, I'm gonna have you answer questions.
Alright. Makes sense.
But like, we're gonna have to teach. If it's a girl, they're gonna have to learn about bleeding,
Mm-hmm.
about how they bleed every month, before they actually start bleeding every month.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, I wasn't taught about
Menstruals?
menstruation.
Yeah.
And it was just like I started bleeding, and I'm like, what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
What's wrong with me?
Yeah. You teach our kid that like around like 9 or 10 or something like that.
Or even earlier,
Or even earlier.
Just
Just be like, oh hey honey, I have to buy these like pad things because I bleed every month.
Mm-hmm.
And they ask, oh, why do you bleed every month? And you can be like, oh, it's like, there's a little egg in the body that goes.
Is that your understanding of menstruation?
That's how I am explaining it to a 5-year-old.
But what's your understanding, though?
Let's see. Do I have to do this on the podcast?
Yeah.
Okay. So, my understanding is
Mm-hmm.
that the ovaries hold the eggs.
Mm-hmm.
They go through the fallopian tubes.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's part of the reproductive cycle.
Mm-hmm.
It goes in, and because it is not fertilized.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't stick to the inner walls of the uterus.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, it like hits the inner like membrane of the uterus, and then that's where blood comes out.
I'm hugging him.
Yeah. So when I say there's an egg in your body, and then he goes so.
No,
Right.
that's not accurate. Okay, so you were correct until the egg is not fertilized, so it doesn't implant into the wall of or the lining that was built up.
Mm-hmm.
And then basically periods are when the lining is shed.
Okay.
So that's all the gooey thing
Mm-hmm.
that would have been the womb.
Okay.
that the fetus would feed on.
So when I said the egg goes, I was right in that case, right? Because it does go.
No. It just gets... You just bleed it out.
Yeah, that's the sound.
No. I'm like, what?
That's the internal sound of the egg hitting the uterus wall.
And then from the force of the egg,
Yeah.
it causes bleeding.
Yeah.
I believe the egg... So the egg is like way bigger than sperm.
Yeah, it is bigger than sperm. Like, because you see like the microscopic videos of all the sperms like surrounding the egg.
I am learning a lot about sperm and egg from this book called Sperm Wars. And apparently there's different kinds of sperm. There's the killer sperms. There's the blockers, which have like some have multiple heads, some have like really misshapen heads, some have like multiple tails. Some have like a spring for a tail.
Yeah.
And then the killer sperm cells, all they do is kill the sperm cells of other men. They have a chemical at their head that senses, okay, are you a fellow sperm? And then there's also the egg getter sperm. That all it does is the killer sperms, like they create a path for the egg getters.
Yeah.
And they just like swim really fast. And then they get the egg.
Yeah.
Or they don't and they die.
Okay.
But like they can stay alive for like up to 5 days. They would like, they're not swimming constantly. All those 5 days they like rest.
Yeah.
And then they attack.
Yeah. Because I remember in like sex ed growing up, I did hear that like I didn't know the reason why. They didn't go into that much detail, but they said that like the guy, like people who have sex later, like like if one guy has sex and then the second guy has sex like right after him, the second guy is more likely to impregnate the woman than the first guy is. Because one, like the dick is made to like scoop out like the sperm from.
What?
Yeah.
No.
There's that.
No, that's not it. There's no scooping out of other men's sperm with your dick. Oh my gosh. It's all about like the guy who had sex first. His sperm is like older. So like most of it is like in the process of dying.
Yeah.
And then the second guy, it's like fresher sperm. And then the fresher sperm like can attack the dying sperm. And like apparently the men subconsciously or like whatever,
The
like
killer
biologically
the killer sperm's more fresh for the second
more
guy.
fresh, yeah. And then there's also different, so like there's the 3 different kinds of sperm. And men, I don't know, something about the biology, like I don't think they're thinking of it consciously, but they put in more killer sperm.
Okay.
Which kills the previous guy's sperm.
But like in general, the topic of like, are we going to shelter our kids? Probably not. Okay, because it's either you get my like really simplified explanation, or you tell them the actual real thing.
That's true. I can do that.
Yeah, like I can do like a really fun explanation. Like I'm good for explaining things to little kids because I can simplify it down to like a really basic idea that gets the point across, right?
Oh, you're so funny.
I'll make it fun for them, and then you can do the science, the actual follow up,
and be like, okay, this is what a sperm looks like.
Yeah,
like, it's pretty cool, like nature is fascinating.
Yeah, there's Cells at Work. The Cells at Work Black had a really interesting one about like sperm and like the method, and it's really funny because like it's a very tragic episode because like the
black. Okay.
yeah, they're like, oh, we did it, we got the sperm out, you know, and then he's like, they all die, and then the other red blood cells like, no man, they're all dead. It's like, what do you mean? They were going out there to impregnate something, right? It's like, no, this was just casual sex. There was a condom.
Oh, they were trapped by a condom.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They're like, they'll never reach the egg.
Nice.
It's like, they're like, no, they were so cute though.
Yeah. Oh, they're like...
Because they're like little babies in the little sperm pod.
Okay.
They're like little babies in those sperm pods too.
Oh.
They're like, oh, they're so cute, you know?
Oh, okay.
And then the red blood cells, oh, don't worry, little guys, we'll get you out of here.
Oh, okay.
Like the naive, like the new red blood cells, like, oh, don't worry, kids, we'll get you out. We'll get you to the egg. And the kids are like, yeah, we're going to get to the egg. And then like the older blood cell, one that's like jaded, and it's just like, no. They'll never reach the egg.
So, Cells at Work is an anime.
Mm-hmm. It's an anime about like the internal workings of the body. So there's Cells at Work, which is like it's like the standard story, and there's Cells at Work Black, which is a story that takes place in a very unhealthy body. Mm-hmm. So so it kind of like teaches you like all the terrible stuff that happens to your body when you're unhealthy.
Yeah, taking drugs,
smoking, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like how you can abuse your body and how your body reacts to said abuse. Because they treat it because the reason why they call it black is because in Japan, when a company that abuses its workers is considered a black company. And the way like the Cells at Work universes work is that the bodies are essentially like a company, pretty much. That everyone has their jobs to do.
There's different departments.
There's like different departments and stuff like that. So the black company means it's essentially a company that mistreats its workers, in which case it mistreats their own body.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's well researched.
Yeah, it's well researched.
They use like
author is author's very passionate about biology. You can kind of tell by like the stories that they write, right?
Yeah.
They made the cancer episode very tragic, and like you like empathized with cancer. Weirdly, that's weird to say. It's weird to say, but you empathize with cancer.
They're starving because of chemotherapy or something?
No, because the cancer cells are just your regular cells, except just mismutated. And you're essentially just killing yourself. Like, you don't know that, like, cancer cells are, like, a common thing. They're actually, like, a natural occurring part of your body. But the killer, like, your body just kills it off, like, heartlessly.
Oh, okay.
You know,
heartlessly.
Yeah, I mean it has to.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like your body can fight off cancer cells as long as you're like healthy and like as long as you're healthy, right?
Not stressed,
stuff like that. Your body will like kill the cancer cells faster than they can like produce.
Yeah. Stress is
a killer. Yeah, stress is toxic.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I'm confident like we can teach our kid well.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not.
As long as we're not scared of them.
Yeah. Which, babe, are you scared of?
Oh, did I say it in a way? I like look down.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
You're scared of kids in general.
I am. I think it's more of like. I see myself in them.
Yeah, and you really don't have much experience getting parented.
Yeah, I didn't have a good childhood.
Yeah.
So I guess it triggers me.
Yeah, like
so
I'll say like don't think less of our kid because our kid didn't go through your life, right? You know, they go through a different experience. They're going through a very different experience, right? So their troubles are also like, it's their troubles.
Yeah,
they're not the same as yours.
Feel it.
They still feel it. They still feel the way. Their internal drug are still multiplying all of their emotional feelings by tenfold through puberty and stuff like that. There are big vats of chemicals that have an explosive energy going through them. Right. So of course they're gonna be like emotional, different, doing different things.
Yeah.
There is.
Yeah, I think as long as I have, we both have good awareness and mindfulness about, okay, this is what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean you have to project it
Onto
a kid
Yeah.
or anyone else.
Yeah.
You know, adult, no matter the age, right? Because like, no matter what you're going through, you shouldn't hurt others.
Yeah, and you're not parenting your kid alone. You're not parenting the kid alone. You're parenting the kid with me. Right. And I have my own set of experiences that are very different from your experiences.
Yeah.
And I'm going to take that and apply that too, you know?
So it's not a weakness that we have different experiences.
No, it's a strength. I think it's a strength, you know?
Yeah.
I think like we'll be able to get through it, and like, you know, like we'll have our spawn is going to be like, you know, like the combination. They'll combine the best parts of us.
That's true.
You know? Our kids are gonna look super cute though. Like for reals, our kids are gonna be so hot.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like,
they'll be models in Japan. They'll have to move to Japan.
I will be threatening to whatever partner our child brings. I will threaten them and scare them and be like, so what are you going to do with the child? What are you going to do?
Why are you with them?
Yeah.
What do your parents do? What's your plan for your life?
What's your plan with your life?
Your plans are unclear.
Your dreams are unclear. I think I'll be like a chill parent, a pretty chill parent though. Sometimes I wish that like my parents were a bit more chill growing up. And like me as an individual, I'm pretty chill.
Yeah.
But, you know, I still want them to do well.
Right. Makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, and then like, you know, I have like older siblings who've gone through it too.
It's good to have high expectations of people.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna expect like high expectations, but like, you know, like
not so high that
not
they
so
can't
high.
reach it,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Not so high that like, you know, that you're putting unreasonable expectations on them.
Yeah.
Because then you get like, then you're gonna get your kid burnt out, right? When you do that.
At a young age, yeah.
At a young age, and yeah, burning out when you're a young age, that's rough.
Yeah.
You need to be like, you should feel burnout when you're able to legally drink alcohol.
You need to have enough fuel in your tank to like, you know, where you see the horizon and you're not going to be like depressed or whatever.
Yeah. You know what I think is kind of messed up? I think it's messed up that like we can get our kids to join the military before drinking age. And then they go through the horrors of war, and then they're not allowed to drink alcohol to like numb the pain. I think that's a little messed up.
Their brain is not developed enough to drink, but it's developed enough to kill.
Murder. Yeah. You know, it is a little messed up, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's. We talked about a lot of different things.
We went everywhere.
That's where what happens when we don't have an outline to follow. But yeah, we'll see you all later. Please like and subscribe, and maybe you'll get a video notification on us when we decide to record one of these.
Yeah.
All right. See you later, everyone. Bye.